What we know so far about WWE 2K25 on Nintendo Switch 2. So WWE 2K25 was recently revealed for the Nintendo Switch 2. First, we got a little tease on Twitter the day before, which was really pretty much a confirmation without them outright confirming anything. And then the next day, they dropped a reveal trailer which featured a few wrestler entrances and a little bit of gameplay. You know, I figured this would be exciting news for the community because Nintendo has not had a proper WWE 2K release since the disaster of WWE 2K18, which, by the way, it runs a lot better on the Switch 2 if you didn't know. But with the upcoming release of 2K25 in a few weeks, I don't know why you would buy it or play it anymore unless you still have your old copy of 2K18. If you were planning on getting it, it's actually super expensive on eBay for a physical copy, and I suspect that this is because it's not available on the eShop anymore, making this version of the game a little bit more rare. But in getting back to WWE 2K25 on the Switch 2, from the little bit that we get from the reveal trailer, I really have nothing but positive things to say. Now, this might change when I do my review for the game, because I will definitely do one, but as of now, the game looks like it's gonna be really good, honestly. The graphics are very comparable to the PlayStation 5 version. It's definitely not a one-to-one, and there are some downgrades that are visible in the comparison video that I did the day that the trailer released. Like, for example, Roman Reigns and CM Punk, their hair doesn't look so hot on the Switch 2. It looks decent, but it doesn't look as good as it does on the PS5. Character details on skin, like the muscles, it all looks really good. We did see some gameplay. I would have liked to have seen more, but we did see some, and most of what they showed were one-on-one matches, and they showed one clip of 4 wrestlers in the ring at the same time. The reason that this is notable to me, obviously, is because in the original Switch, WWE 2K18 ran terribly whenever there were more than 2 wrestlers in the ring at once. So it would have been nice if they showed some 6-man tag gameplay or a Royal Rumble or just any match type where there are multiple people in the ring at once, you know, just to alleviate that concern. But like I said, they did show one clip of Rhea Ripley and 3 other wrestlers in ring at the same time. I'm 95% positive that this game is not going to have any slowdown issues like 2K18 did. On the one hand, because the game is also available on the PlayStation 4, and the Switch 2 is a lot more capable than that system, but we all know how the 2K series is with optimization, not so hot. On the other hand, the Switch 2 is not as powerful as a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X, and it's also both better and worse than the Xbox Series S. So that 5% of doubt is gonna be there until we have the game in our hands and it runs well. But like I said, I don't think we have too much to worry about, and if the game does run badly, I think it's safe to bet that it's on 2K and not the system. So WWE 2K25 is $70 for the regular edition, but there are also 2 other versions of the game, and they are the Deadman Edition and the Bloodline Edition. Deadman Edition is $100 and the Bloodline Edition is $130. The Island is a new game mode that allows you to explore a bunch of different areas, to go up against other players, and to do side quests as well. I've never played it myself, but to me, from what I've seen, it looks like it's similar to the World Tour from Street Fighter 6. And what's interesting about this mode with regards to the Switch 2 is that it actually is available on the Switch 2 version, as you can see here in the eShop listing and in the official WWE 2K website, that this mode, the Island, is only available on next generation. Their words, next gen. And then they go on to list the Nintendo Switch 2 along with PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. And what's even more interesting is that they list the Nintendo Switch 2 first. That actually means a lot. To me, it tells me that this is a version of the game that they're proud of. Street Fighter 6 does the same thing. If you look at the recent Sagat trailers, Switch 2 is once again listed at the forefront. So maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I don't think so. If I was the marketing guy or the editor making this trailer and I'm embarrassed about something, I'm gonna make that thing as least visible as I possibly can. I'm not gonna put it first in the list where it's gonna be the first thing that comes to mind. And finally, I have to correct a mistake I made in the last video where I compared the Switch 2 footage to similar PS5 footage, and that is that this game is not going to be a game key card. In fact, there's not going to be a card at all. The physical edition is going to include a download code only, which honestly, it sucks. I honestly would have preferred a game key card over this, but the reason it was confusing is because the reveal trailer actually says the total opposite. The trailer says that a game key card needs to be inserted to download and play the game. It literally says that. But then when you look at the box art, it says that no key card is in the box and that it's a download code only. So when I first saw those pictures of the box art on Twitter, I actually didn't believe that it was official. I thought it was fan-made stuff. You know how there's always Switch 1 box art for games that never even existed on the Switch, like The Last of Us? Here, I didn't make this one. I literally Googled The Last of Us 1 Switch 1 box art and this came up. So I thought something like that was going on with WWE 2K25. But I went and looked at the official 2K WWE assets page, and sure enough, it's the official box art. But in my head, I was thinking maybe the guy who edited this box art made a mistake. So I still didn't believe it. So I contacted a 2K rep by email, and he confirmed that yes, it is a download code only. So that really does suck. This is probably the first true negative for this game, and maybe it's a sign of things to come. Hopefully not. They could have at least done a game keycard, but at this point, I'm just gonna buy the game digitally because the box is gonna be useless once I use up the code. And if this was almost any other game, I wouldn't bother buying it at all, but I am a sucker for wrestling games on Nintendo systems. By the way, if you guys want me to do a video on how AEW Fight Forever runs on the Switch 2, let me know. But with all that said, that's going to be it for today's video. I'm SwitchPlayed. Done.